This is a video for the word coherent. Coherent. So again, coherent. Notice that you have to pronounce the H, which is you don't do in Spanish. So remember that we always pronounce the letter H in English pretty much, almost always. One or two exceptions, but most of the time we do pronounce the H. So ha ha, coherent. 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 That's how you pronounce it. And it has two meanings. They're both adjectives. And so one is about ideas or thoughts or arguments. That's the first definition. And then the second definition is about a person. For ideas, thoughts, or arguments, it means logical and well organized, easy to understand and clear. So like an argument, a thought, an essay, a paragraph, something that you're explaining, something that you're saying, it's easy to understand and clear. Teachers always hope that everything we tell you is coherent. I hope that what I'm saying in this video is coherent so you will understand it. So it's logical, it's well organized, it's connected, it makes sense. And then definition 2 is very related to that, but it's about a person, and it just means that basically it says a person able to talk and express yourself clearly. So a coherent person is related to number 1. A coherent person is a person who is able to say things, like make arguments, make sentences, everything like that, in a coherent way, which means in a clear, well-organized way. And so Spanish translations, coherente or lógico. Lógico in Spanish has 2 parts of speech. Lógico in Spanish can be an adjective or a noun. So just to remind you, this word is an adjective, so it's only the adjective meaning of lógico or coherente, if you know that word in Spanish. And like I said before, it means logical and well-organized, describing ideas or describing a person who can speak in that logical, well-organized way. Word families for coherent. Coherence is a noun, and then incoherence, if you add in makes the opposite, so that means not. Incoherence, not being organized, not being clear. Okay, coherently, I bet you guys have seen this before by now, ly. Ly is an ending, and it means mente, that's right, mente. So coherently, coherentemente, in a coherent way. Opposite of coherently, incoherently. And the opposite of coherent is incoherent, is an adjective. And so synonyms, we have articulate, logical, and lucid. Antonyms for coherent, ambiguous, obscure, and vague. And then actually, this one really should be added, incoherent should be added down here. This is also, incoherent is also an antonym. I'm going to change that on the card. Okay, let's look at some sentences with this. So here's an example of a sentence with coherent talking about arguments. So here's a picture of a lawyer. This lawyer is happy because she won the case. Why? Because her arguments in the court were coherent and were based on solid evidence. So her arguments were organized and logical, and so that's why she won the case for her client. That's an example sentence. So arguments, again, were coherent. Then we go to the next one, and here we're not talking about arguments anymore, we're talking about a person. So here's an example. After studying how to write an effective speech, you will become a coherent public speaker. So this is like when you give your senior speech, for example, right? In English 3, you study how to write an effective speech and you practice making it. And after you do all that, we will teach you how to be a coherent public speaker, to speak in a clear, logical, organized way. So that's describing you as a person. You will be a coherent public speaker. I promise you it will happen. Okay, so that's the use of coherent for a person. And then if we back up here, this is our sentence with English class. This is a sentence about an essay, and we talk about this a lot. A good essay is coherent because all of its parts are logically connected. So again, coherent means clear, logical, and well organized. So a good essay is coherent because how many main ideas does it have? It has one main idea in the whole essay, right? And that main idea is expressed in the thesis. The thesis is going to be at the end of your introduction usually. And then your whole essay is all connected to that. You don't suddenly go and jump off and talk about something different in the middle of your essay. All of your body paragraphs are related to what you said in your thesis. And each body paragraph is well organized inside it too, right? Each paragraph has one main idea. So if all of that is true, you have one big idea for your whole essay. Then in your body paragraphs, you take that big idea and you break it into parts, and each part is in one body paragraph, and those are clearly organized. And then you have a conclusion that repeats everything and comes back and summarizes everything that you already said. That's what a good essay should have. That makes that essay coherent, which means that it's well organized and logically connected. So that's the video for the word coherent. Thank you for watching today.